Hello and welcome back to another Warlords of Draenor dungeon guide. This time it's a little bit different though. I've decided to shake up the format. Instead of going through every ability and all that stuff, I'm just going to give you a TLDR strategy for every single boss, because you know what? A, you've got access to the dungeon journal, and B, I think you're all clever enough to, learn this stuff if you really want to. So yeah, I'll see how this format goes. Anyway, first of all, we've got the very first boss. Now this guy is actually really simple. He spawns a variety of lovely things on the floor. Quite simply, don't stand in them, exactly what you would expect. Now his main mechanic is that he will throw a shield at someone, and that will knock them back, but it's not really a problem until he starts doing a channeled AoE. This will hurt anyone in the room who isn't behind the shield, so everyone, including the tank, will have to run back there, and that actually provides a handy little time for the healer to sort of triage people up and just chill out for a minute before you get back into the fight. Overall, it is a very easy boss. Okay, so next we've got Soulbinder Nyami. She is again a pretty simple boss. Her Mind Spike ability can be interrupted, and her Shadow Word Pain dot can actually be dispelled, which is pretty handy. She also does a group-wide AoE that can be avoided by standing inside the dark purple swirly thingy. So just stand inside that. Now her main mechanic is that she will summon a whole bunch of ads. Just gather these up and nuke them down as quickly as you possibly can. The ads mechanics are mostly the same as the trash, so you will be decently familiar with them. However, the ads have actually got a very low amount of HP, so they won't last particularly long. Just rinse and repeat these mechanics and you should be fine. Alright, so the third boss is a super fun Burning Legion guy. Again though, he's not really too bad. He does 3 things by himself and then summons ads. First of all, he does a knockback, which will do a 6-second damage taken debuff on the tank. So that's super fun to deal with if you're the tank, and again, the healer should watch out for that spike damage on the tank. He also does a simple Void Zone that will, just be bad and do damage if you stand in it, so don't stand in it. Then finally, he does an ability which causes you to pulse with fire. The spell effect is sort of understated, but you'll see it pretty noticeably. Like, you just have this little sort of poof of fire that appears from your feet. Now, if someone is standing within 5 yards of you while you have that debuff going on, then they will start pulsing fire, and then maybe they stand next to someone, which causes them to pulse fire, and then everyone's pulsing fire, and soon everyone's dead. So, the lesson is, spread out. Then finally, he will eventually turn invincible. He'll fly up in the air and summon a whole bunch of ads. The red guys that are on fire that run around can be ignored, but don't walk into them. Then the purple pyromancers must be killed first and interrupted because their chaos bolt thingies do a whole bunch of damage. And then finally the Felguard can be killed afterwards. Overall, boss 3 is pretty simple though. Then finally we've got Terran Gore. This guy really isn't too bad. He does a few base abilities which are Shadow Bolt, Corruption, Drain Life, and Rain of Fire. Don't stand in Rain of Fire, Dispel Corruption, and save interrupts for Drain Life. Now at 75% he will take on a Warlock spec and gain some new abilities, and most of these can be dealt with via common sense though, so I'm not going to go into crazy detail about them here. All you really need to know is that if you are a DPS or tank player, then be sure to interrupt Chaos Bolt if he goes into Destruction, and then also interrupt Drain Life. Also ensure that you're pretty spread out, because one of his dots, I think the dot that he gets if he goes into Affliction, will spread to nearby players, which is a pretty bad thing to happen. Then if you're a healer, just Dispel Corruption and Immolate if he goes into Destruction, but just be sure not to interrupt Unstable Affliction, as this will explode in your face and silence you for 4 seconds. Also, like everyone else, remain spread so that that dot doesn't, bounce around everyone. So there you go, that's basically everything that you need to know to clear Auchindoun with relative ease. Now I'll probably return to the hyper-formatted, super well-edited, detailed boss guides once I start doing challenge modes on my main. I might do that, might not, see how it goes. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.